It doesn't matter what field you're in. These 3 techniques I'm gonna to share with you will increase your time productivity tenfold. Think about it. Throughout our lives, we've always been told to study, to do this, to complete that project in a certain way. But no one ever taught us how to work efficiently. No one said, hey, if you work like this, you can get results twice or even 3 times faster. And you know what? At some point, I told myself I'm already putting in the effort to improve everything else in my life. Why not boost my productivity too? If I'm dedicating time to focus on a field and get better at it, why not learn a few techniques that will help me accomplish twice or even 3 times as much in those same 24 hours? Why not outwork my competition? After watching every YouTube video about productivity, efficiency, and work strategies, and after reading content on the subject, I finally developed the exact protocol I'm about to share with you in this video. And I promise you, whether you're in university, high school, working a job, running your own business, or managing projects, this will be one of the most important videos you'll ever watch. It's going to save you a lot of time. Let me start by saying that if we want to get more done, we need to take care of our state of mind. It's obvious. When you feel good, your energy is high. And when you have energy, you can get more work done. We all know that no matter where we are or how we feel, our state can always be a little better or a little worse. This isn't about happiness. It's not about always wanting to be joyful or having only positive emotions. The point is that no matter where I am or how I feel, the decision I make in this moment can either make me feel a little better or a little worse. Imagine you've had a rough day at work. On your way home, you're stuck in traffic, and by the time you finally get home, you realize you're starving and you haven't even had dinner yet. And that moment, it's completely understandable if you don't feel great, if you're tired or even a little frustrated. You have the right to feel that way. But here's what I want to tell you. The decision you make in that moment, after realizing you're hungry and don't have dinner ready, will determine whether your mood in the next few moments gets a little better or a little worse. For example, if you decide, what a useless day, I'm hungry, I'm annoyed, I don't feel like doing anything, I'll just lie down on the couch and scroll through Instagram for half an hour. Well, after that half an hour, it's obvious that you'll feel even worse than before, right? Who doesn't know this? Instagram doesn't actually make us feel better. Mindlessly scrolling through social media doesn't improve our mood. Watching TV doesn't either. Sure, it's an easy distraction. It takes your mind off how you feel for a moment. But when it's over, when you turn off the TV, you're right back where you started. Except now, you're even lower than before. Anyone who pays attention to their own state can see this. After spending time on Instagram, you feel worse than before. The same goes for watching porn, binge, watching TV, or overeating. In the moment, it might bring you some pleasure. It might feel like a little escape, a place to take refuge. But afterward, you end up feeling even worse. Now, in the second scenario, imagine this. You come home. realize you have no food, you're hungry, and you're tired. But instead of giving in to that frustration, you take a few deep breaths, put on your headphones, play a podcast, some music, or something uplifting, and start tidying up the kitchen while preparing a meal. Half an hour passes. By then, you've taken deep breath, you've eaten, and you feel better about yourself. Your mood has improved. See, it's really that simple. The things we do always make us feel either a little better or a little worse. It's always like this. Every time you meditate, you feel better afterward. Every time you do yoga, you feel better. Every time you exercise, you feel better. And every time you watch TV, you feel worse. Every time you eat unhealthy food, you feel worse afterward. Now here's something really important. We need to pay attention to these changes, to how our mood shifts, so we can recognize the impact of our actions. Otherwise, we'll think it's random. We'll presume, oh, I suddenly feel bad for no reason. But no, it wasn't sudden. You spent an hour and a half on Instagram. That's why you feel bad. You didn't follow through on something you promised yourself you'd do. That's why you feel bad. You said you'd exercise, but you didn't. You planned to meditate, but you skipped it. That's why you feel the way you do. There's a reason. It's not random. Your mood and emotions are a reflection of your thoughts. And it's obvious what kind of thoughts will come up when you start scrolling through Instagram. But if instead you put on a good podcast, listen to a good book, or play some uplifting music while getting things done around the house, you're growing in multiple ways at the same time. In multiple ways, something good is happening to your body. You're doing something productive and positive. It makes you feel good. You're also learning something new. And on top of that, your food is getting ready. Do you see what I mean? The whole concept is really this simple. And if we talk about vibration or energy, it's the same thing. The actions that raise your energy make you feel good. The actions that lower your energy make you feel worse. Meditation elevates your mind's energy, your body's energy, and your overall system. Yoga does the same. Checking Instagram lowers it. Overthinking and worrying lower it. Watching porn lowers it. Eating unhealthy food lowers it. It's really that simple. No matter where you are, whether you're at plus 1000 or minus 700, you can always go a little higher or a little lower. And your current actions decide that. Some people think, oh, I'm already at minus 200. What difference does it make? But of course, it makes a difference. It absolutely matters whether you move up to minus 150 or drop to minus 250. And what's interesting is that your next moment will be built on that minus 150. From there again, you have the choice to go a little higher or a little lower. Let's pause here for a moment, take a quick break, and then come back. So what have we discussed so far? We've said that no matter where you are, no matter how you feel, whether you're at the highest high or the lowest low. You can always be a little better or a little worse. And the key point here is that what you're doing right now determines how you will feel later. And how you will feel later becomes the point where you can either improve a little or get worse. And this is exactly the definition of momentum. When you keep doing negative things one after another. For example, when you wake up in the morning, instead of meditating, you open Instagram. Instead of going for a walk, you start checking the news and your emails. Little by little, your mood starts to drop. This creates a direction almost like a slide we've gotten on. Going down, and today's mood makes tomorrow worse, and tomorrow's mood makes the day after worse. If you've been doing this for years, that's okay. The good news is that no matter where you are, you can start today and be a little better. You can talk about your childhood, the difficult things you've been through, all the hardships that have happened to you and to all of us. But ultimately, whether you meditate in this moment or not, that's your choice. It's your decision whether you want to do yoga right now or check Instagram. It's your decision whether you want to watch TV or start organizing your surroundings. It's truly up to you. It doesn't really relate to your past. You can try to make all kinds of connections, but deep down, you know that if you want to, you can choose to do something that will improve your mood a little. And a better mood today can lead to a better one tomorrow. And that can start an upward momentum toward a better version of yourself, the version of you that you like more. Have you ever thought about how others got there? Do you think they did something extraordinary? No, they all took small steps. No matter where they were, no matter what struggles they had, or what their lives looked like, they simply started taking small steps. And it doesn't matter where you are right now. That's not the point. What matters is which direction you're moving in. It also doesn't matter how fast you're going. I'd rather move slowly in the right direction than rush at full speed in the wrong one. What's important is to check and see if the path you're on is the right one. Are you moving up or are you going down? Exercise, meditation, reading, learning, playing an instrument, these things are all about improving your mood, about raising your energy, and you can feel it. Go work out for an hour and then pay attention to the energy in your body. It's obvious that you feel better. It's obvious that your body feels more alive. After just a 30-minute walk, your state is noticeably better than before. And this is where mindfulness helps us by bringing awareness to how our body actually feels. So pay attention. The reason I say that watching porn isn't a good thing isn't because it will send you to hell. It's because it makes you feel worse. If I say that smoking, gossiping, or constantly checking Instagram isn't good, it's not because doing those things makes you a bad person. It's simply because they lower your state. One of the ways to quit smoking or quit watching porn is to observe how you feel after doing it. Just pay attention to your state afterward. You will notice that you feel worse than before. You thought it would make you feel good. It gave you a brief moment of pleasure, but right after that, your vital energy, your life force, your prana dropped. And that drop is what we call feeling bad. So just keep it simple. Some things make you feel better, some things make you feel worse. If you do the things that make you feel better, your state will improve. If you do the things that make you feel worse, your state will decline. I know that's probably the most obvious statement anyone has ever said to anyone. So the first technique is meditation. Some people might say, what does meditation have to do with getting work done? And I get it because I used to think the same way. The first time someone told me to meditate, I had the same reaction. That's because when you hear the word meditation, the first image that probably comes to mind is something like a middle-aged woman sitting peacefully after a yoga session, practicing deep breathing. Or maybe you picture a Hindu monk sitting in the forest surrounded by animals reaching a state of deep tranquility. And that image might seem random when we are talking about work, but that's a mistake. Meditation isn't just those things. Yes, those are forms of meditation, but did you know that even boxing can be considered a form of meditation? Look, we live in a world overflowing with information. Our minds are never in a fully focused state. Even right now, as you're watching this video, your attention might not be fully on my words. A part of your brain is probably distracted by the visuals, or maybe even lost in other thoughts. Our minds are almost never in a state of pure focus. Meditation is a state where your mind becomes silent, with no noise, no distractions, and you are fully present in the moment. The most famous and easiest form of meditation, breath meditation, where you simply focus on your breathing. And the process goes like this. You sit in a quiet place for 10 minutes. Close your eyes and start breathing. What happens is that a series of thoughts start coming to you. You sit there, trying to keep your focus, and suddenly a thought pops up. What should I do after meditation? Or, oh, that person told me this. You realize that your mind is drifting. The interesting thing is that most of the time you don't even notice it, because the boundary between ourselves and our thoughts is very narrow. We identify so much with our thoughts that when our mind wanders, we don't realize we are thinking. Thoughts during meditation are fascinating. Sometimes I even start thinking about meditation itself. For example, I'll be sitting there meditating and suddenly think, oh, this is great. I should mention this in a video. And without realizing it, my focus has drifted elsewhere. What you need to do is recognize where your attention has gone and gently bring it back. It's like working out at the gym. Every time you bring your focus back, it's like you're training your mental muscles. For example, you close your eyes, start meditating, and suddenly a thought about your worries for the future comes up. Every time you redirect your focus back to your breath, you're strengthening your ability to control your attention. Throughout those 10 minutes, you're constantly practicing this skill, and when the meditation ends, you will notice an incredible silence in your mind. There's no voice telling you to check Instagram, no urge or curiosity to refresh and see what's happening. You just feel a deep, calm state of mind. In your head, there are no more voices. And when you start studying or go to work, there aren't 1,000 voices running through your mind or countless dialogues playing in your head. Meditation helps to eliminate those voices and essentially acts like a gym, not for your muscles, but for your brain. It's fascinating to me that this concept hasn't become mainstream. When we talk about personal development, the first thing people say is, "Yeah, I started going to the gym." Okay, that's great. That's the first step and it's really beneficial. But training your brain might be even more important because most of the things we do are directly connected to our brain's performance, whether it's reading, working, or even exercising. If you have ever boxed or played football, it's ridiculous to think that it's just about having a strong body. If you have ever been in the ring, you will realize that more than physical skill, it's a mental game. It's about focus, knowing what your next move will be, and being aware. Meditation is the best way to train your brain. Meditation can also come in different formats. For example, boxing itself is a form of meditation. Do you know why? Because you're constantly trying to focus on one thing, and you are in a state of concentration. That's exactly why it's considered meditation. When you're in the ring, you don't have time to think about different things, and you don't have time to think about what you're going to do next weekend. In that moment, if you're not paying attention for even a second, you will get punched in the face. And if you're in a professional match, even a moment of distraction could lead to an injury that will stay with you for the rest of your life. The easiest format of meditation is breathing meditation. You sit for 10 minutes. Focus on your breath and try to keep your attention from wandering. I'm going to post a complete protocol about meditation on this channel, explaining how to meditate. I've already explained a little in previous videos, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the video. The second technique is fasting. Fasting works like this. When you wake up, don't immediately go and have breakfast or take medicine on an empty stomach. Maybe water is okay. Although fasting should ideally exclude coffee, but we add that to our routine. Drink water and coffee and then get to work. What happens is that you will notice your focus increases by 10 times. Some people like Jordan Peterson say, "I only eat meat on my diet and I try to fit it all into one meal." People like Andrew Tate and Tim Ferriss say they do the same. These are individuals who have likely spent millions of dollars on their health, and they have concluded that this is the best system for productivity. So I thought, let me copy this without spending millions of dollars. What happens is you see that your focus improves tenfold. We can look at it from two perspectives. One is that when you eat, part of your blood circulation goes to the stomach, and part of your energy goes into digesting, so not much energy is left for other tasks. But from a mental perspective, fasting is the best state for productivity. Think about it. Picture a caveman. When he was going to work or going hunting, did he go with a full stomach? No, he went on an empty stomach because his body was in a state that said, okay, we need food. His focus would increase and he would be in a state where he needed to get food, he needed to hunt, and all the energy of his body went toward that goal, toward the task at hand. Our bodies haven't changed that much from our caveman version. When you go after your task, your goal, fasting helps you focus a lot more. Your brain doesn't have that cloudy state anymore. combining fasting with meditation, and the next thing I'm going to share with you helps you leave competitors behind easily. The third thing I want to tell you is waking up early. Waking up early has a very clear advantage. You get more time, but the main impact is mental. Think about it. At least for me, when I wake up early in the morning, I automatically feel a sense of pride. Thinking, good job, you're up earlier than everyone else. The house is quiet and you can tell the sun hasn't fully risen yet. When you set aside your tiredness and get up, there's this feeling of pride that comes with it. And that feeling of pride doesn't allow you to indulge in bad habits. Do you know what that means? It means you won't feel like waking up early, grabbing your phone and checking Instagram. Those first 2 or 3 hours in the morning before others wake up are incredibly valuable. When you sit down to work with just water or coffee, combine that with meditation and fasting, that time is worth 2 full days for an average person, because during those early hours, you get a lot of work done, and by the time others wake up, you have already accomplished so much. Now imagine the rest of your day is ahead and you can use these 3 techniques throughout your day. Just imagine how much ahead of others you will be.